Hello UW wrestling fans, I'm Garrett Diedzik, sitting here with Sean O'Neill and Reid Johnson. On the left, Sean O'Neill is a senior from Prior Lake, Minnesota, and he's currently studying biology with a pre-med emphasis and minoring in Spanish. Sean wrestles at 184 pounds for UWL. On the right is Reid Johnson. Reid Johnson is also a senior. He's from North Branch, Minnesota, and his major is biology with an emphasis in biomedical science. He is also minoring in chemistry with a pre-med emphasis. Reid Johnson wrestles at 141 pounds. So I'd like to start off by asking you, what made you choose to attend UWL and choose your major that you're currently pursuing?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think what made me choose UWL was I really didn't have a ton of schools I was looking into. I went down to Luther. Yeah, I know Luther. We're wrestling them this Friday, but I chose not to go there. Just like I came to lacrosse probably a couple weeks after I visited Luther, and just like the whole atmosphere of the city with the kind of being nestled within the bluffs, and just hearing about how good their academics were, renowned for their sciences, and I heard about all the up-and-coming advancements and improvements they were making in their curriculum and their university, and I was just really excited too when I came. And Malachek personally showed me around the whole day and told me about everything that the program was doing and how they were building, and I was just very enticed and captivated, and I think it's been a great 4 years here at UWL. And my desire to pursue medicine, I guess, kind of stems from my mom. She's a family practice physician right now in Prior Lake, Minnesota, but it's not just that. I think my experience from traveling abroad and seeing poverty and people that are in really dire need of receiving health care has really kind of dug at my heart to help those people. And I believe with my background and my opportunities I've been given that I can help those people in need.
Reid, the same question goes for you. What made you choose UWL and your emphasis of study?
Yeah, Garrett, I think it's just the opportunity was here for me to excel both in my academic and athletic interests. I knew that I wanted to go into medicine and the science field in particular, and I knew that lacrosse had a lot of great opportunities academically. They had great biology programs, and I figured that was going to be my major and path to hopefully finding a career in medicine. At the same time, I knew that I wanted to compete in athletics at the collegiate level, but if it was something I was going to do, I wanted to go somewhere where it was important to the school, the coaches, my teammates. So I wanted to go somewhere with a strong tradition in success. I didn't want to go just to be on a college team. I wanted to go and pursue podium runs at the national level. So I found that lacrosse was going to have a really good wrestling program, and that's what I wanted to do. I felt like I fit in well with the coaches, the area, the other athletes, and the academic part was there too. So I knew I was going to be able to excel and pursue my goals both academically and athletically. And I think the university's done a great job. They care about their students and their athletes. So it's been a great opportunity for me to really grow and pursue my aspirations.
And you both have been here for 3 years fully, and you're now pursuing your fourth and final year here at UWL. You both have consistently maintained 4.0 GPAs with it, which is very impressive. And you, on top of that, day in and day out, you're competing at a D3 level of wrestling. So what have been the biggest challenges or obstacles that you both have faced while doing your field of study and competing at a D3 competitive level of wrestling?
Yeah, obviously there's some obstacles that present themselves with trying to balance that lifestyle. And, outside of those two areas too, with school and wrestling, there's a lot of other issues that arise, in your personal life as well and with family. And I think that just time management is really important when you're dealing with both wrestling and school. You have to allocate your time properly to each of them. And I know Malachek likes to joke that we're here to wrestle, not to do school, but I mean, in all reality, we're here to gain a degree. And that's my primary focus, but I also love wrestling. And but I need to, if my studies require it, I need to make sure I put in the proper amount of time to get my stuff done. I set an agenda for the day, and I make sure I get done when I need to get done. Because if I let myself get behind and I make excuses for myself day in and day out, and that becomes a pattern of behavior, I'm going to get really behind. So I've stuck with that mindset throughout my 4 years here that I'm going to get this done, and I'm not going to give myself any excuses, not going to let myself skip a class, even if I can. Even if I could skip the last 3 weeks of classes because my grades are just fine, it causes a pattern of behavior. So it's all about managing your time properly and putting in the work.
Yeah, I think just like anybody else going through college or anything else that's demanding, there's always obstacles that you have to overcome. And that's not just to student athletes, that's to anybody that's got a job, is really trying to excel in the classroom. Maybe they have some other stuff going on outside of their academic life that's going to be an obstacle. So I think we face those similar things. Wrestling's a pretty big time commitment, but so is school. So to excel at the high level, both in academics and athletics, you have to kind of figure out what works for you. So I think kind of the initial obstacles are figuring out how to study, when to study, how often, all that kind of stuff. How do I get in my extra workouts, extra lifts, and not burn out? Burning out is kind of another obstacle that you have to balance, and making sure that you're making time for yourself beyond just at the grindstone. Because yeah, you're going to have to grind a lot, but you're going to burn out and fade away if that's all that you're doing. So you have to make sure that you take care of business, but then also make time for yourself, because if you're not enjoying it, it's not worth it. Whether that's whatever you're pursuing for a career, academics, athletics, hobbies, whatever it might be. So just really that time management, making sure that you're taking care of what you need to take care of and making time for yourself. And just learning to get the balance of that takes a little bit of time. It's kind of a trial and error. There's not really a formula you can plug it in and this is what you got to do. So it's a little bit different for everybody. You can get advice from people, of course, but you have to kind of play around and figure out what works for you. So just kind of getting a good pattern of what you need to do to get to where you need to be. That's, I'd say, the biggest obstacle that's been obvious throughout the first 3 years and continuing into our 4th year here.
The UWL athletics slogan is building champions in school, in sport, and in life. So what does that mean, or how does that affect your guys' pursuit in your academic and athletic careers here at UWL?
Yeah, I think the school and sport and life is kind of like the triad that the university likes to promote, because they don't want to just build good athletes or just build people that are good in school and not, it's kind of that well-rounded aspect to everyone's life that they want to promote. And with the athletics program, they don't just want, we want to keep all of our athletes eligible for all competitions, and if you're not taking care of those other 2 areas of your life, you're likely to have your time here cut short as an athlete. And sadly, I've seen that come through our own team and through other teams here on campus. And I think no matter what you might say, all those 3 areas are extremely important in being able to compete. Because if you don't take care of those other 2 areas in school and in life, you're gonna struggle a lot to be able to compete, one, and to compete successfully, two. So that just goes back to the previous question, managing your time right, doing what works for you. Like Reid said, you need to figure out what works, and you need to stick to it. You need to make a plan, and you need to get it done.
Reid, the same goes for you. What does the slogan of UWL Athletics, which is building champions in school, in sport, in life, mean to you?
I think for me that just kind of means what my focus should be while I'm here. What should I be devoting my time to try to better myself in those 3 areas? And at the same time, all 3 areas get the same amount of emphasis. It's not one is more important than the other necessarily. I have to make sure that I'm pouring everything I have into each of those 3 areas. It's not going to be go crazy and work super hard in school, but then I get to practice and I'm dogging it and not working hard. I need to show up, put my best foot forward in all 3 areas. And I think that that's pretty important to kind of like how Sean was referring to building well-rounded people. You're going to face all sorts of challenges in your life, and it's going to require those things that you learn in all three areas. It's not something that's isolated. They all occur together. They all overlap, and it's going to prepare us for the future, whether it be in the career, husband, father, whatever it might be, brother-in-law. It's going to help guide you and really give you a good educational experience beyond just the books or beyond just being an athlete. It's going to prepare you for the future.
As you know, goal setting is an important part in pursuing your success. So as you guys are nearing your final semester at UWL, what goals do you have for yourself in your upcoming final semester academically here at UWL?
Yeah, Garrett, I think academically, obviously I want to finish out my 4 years here at UWL with a 4.0 GPA. I've come almost 7 semesters with a 4.0 GPA if my semester ends well here in these last couple weeks. And I think as long as I put the effort in that I have been and sticking to my game plan and what works for me academically, I think I can come out on top with a 4.0. But additionally, I think rather than just maintaining a 4.0 GPA, I think the material that you learn throughout your classes, you want to be able to apply that to the light that's at the end of the tunnel. You don't want to just cram all this material into your brain, forget it every semester, and then go, well, I mean, that's great. We'll just move on to the next class and the next semester and just kind of relearning material over and over. I think it's really important to utilize the time and energy that you're investing in your classes currently to prepare yourself for your future career.
Reid, the same question goes for you. What goals do you have for yourself in your final semester at UWL?
Yeah, I just want to finish out the last semester, the tail end of this semester, and then my final semester the same way I started. Come in with focus, be motivated and excited for the opportunities before me. And I think as long as I take care of business and just stick with what I've been doing, the results will come. Try not to get too focused on the results and the GPA, just because that kind of makes me anxious and nervous and doesn't put me in a great mindset for where I need to be to excel on all fronts of whatever I'm trying to do. So of course I want to finish out with a 4.0, but I want to focus a little bit more on just taking care of business, doing what I've been doing, and I think it'll all pan out. And then on top of the school stuff, should be picking up a research project again here that's been on delay a little bit. My research mentor actually had a baby this summer, so that's kind of slowed us down a little bit, but it's an exciting reason to be slowed down a little bit. So I'm looking forward to getting back to that and hopefully getting it published, and then go ahead and present that at the celebration of undergrad research this spring. So some big stuff coming in the future, and I'm excited for it.
You're also both nearing the bulk of your season and your final season of wrestling at UWL. So what goals do you have for yourself when it comes to wrestling compared to academics in your bulk and final season here at UWL?
Yeah, Garrett. I think on the wrestling side of things, I think the season started relatively well for me. And I've cracked the rankings, which is great. I haven't done that before, but in all reality, the rankings don't mean anything. At the end of the season, you've got to beat the best guys to be the best, and it not just because you have a number labeled on your head doesn't make you entitled to anything. But my goals as the season comes to its culmination point in January and February and March. Obviously I am setting my goals high, and I want to be an All-American this year. I believe I possess the capability of making the national tournament and showing the Division III wrestling that I am capable of being at the top with all the other guys. So that's kind of my goals going forward, and I also would like to be an academic All-American as well. And again, that's just taking care of classroom work throughout the wrestling season, which I think both Reid and I have done a really good job of in the past. So I think if we keep that up, both of us, I believe, have the capability of being academic All-Americans, which I think would be another very cool accomplishment to achieve at the end of the season.
Reid, same goes for you.
Yeah, I think my goals are pretty similar athletically as Sean's. All-American obviously is something I want to do, win a conference title. Haven't been able to do that yet. I finished third the last 2 years, so I'd like to step it up a little bit and come out on top of the podium instead of a few steps below the top. So win a conference title, punch my ticket to Cleveland, Ohio, and get to battle with some of the best guys in D3 and hopefully find myself on the podium and as an All-American. Over the last couple of years, I've beaten some national qualifiers and had some really close matches with All-Americans, so I think I'm pretty close to being able to break through. Just beat the 7th ranked kid this last weekend, so that was exciting. After beginning of my season, I was plagued a little bit with some injuries, some skin funk, and then I missed a tournament for a medical school interview too, so it was nice to finally feel like I was getting things rolling a little bit and not kind of stuck in a lull, so that was good. But then I'll want to be an academic All-American as well, just kind of to show that I can take care of it on the mat and off the mat and excel at both simultaneously. So, but again, I just want to really focus on each day coming into the wrestling room, being consistent, making the sacrifices, and staying focused, and I think we'll be all right wherever we end up from there. So, looking forward to it.
You guys have also been here for 3 years, obviously, and now pursuing your 4th and final year at UWL. So what is your future plan or future goal when it comes to a future career beyond college and beyond medical school, if you are planning to do that? What's your goal beyond academics in a career?
Yeah, so I mean, God willing, I can get into medical school and complete that. My ultimate goal in my career as a physician, I would love to do. Obviously, I want to be pretty permanently settled here somewhere in the Midwest, probably as a physician. But I think my ultimate goal would be to specialize as an ophthalmologist and do medical missions to underdeserved areas and underdeveloped countries to help those in need doing what's just simple cataract surgeries or just glaucoma treatment or whatever it may be. I think that would be really cool, especially since ophthalmology involves sight, and sight is I feel like just one of the most amazing senses that you can have, and just restoring people's sight, I think is just such a rewarding feeling and rewarding career to have.
Reid, what are your goals after and beyond your academic career, going into your future possible career in life beyond academics?
Yeah, so I think you're probably noticing a little bit of a common trend that we're both interested in medicine. So right now I'm really looking to be an orthopedic surgeon, and then specializing in sports medicine, just being an athlete for the majority of my life, starting out real young and continuing through in college. Now it's kind of the group that I can kind of call home and fit in with, and that's kind of where I see myself in the future, is kind of working with those guys and whatever their injuries might be or aspirations, just getting them healthy and allowing them to compete at a pretty high level, or whatever level is the highest to their ability, whether that's JV in high school, middle school, or Olympic level. It's kind of where I want to be. I had the opportunity to shadow this last summer at Twin Cities Orthopedics, and they're the official provider of orthopedic care to the Minnesota Vikings, so it's kind of cool to see sports medicine at play and just kind of get a taste of what that's like, and I really enjoyed it, and I think that's where I'll hopefully find to be my home in the future.
Well, there you have it from Sean O'Neill and Reid Johnson. Thank you guys for your time and sharing your information with us. Good luck to both of you in your final semester, next semester here at UWL, and good luck to you in your future career. Thank you.
Thank you, Garrett.